Link worked for you, right?
Oh.
The live stream? The chat, sorry?
Yes.
Yeah, I see it here. Never mind.
Was there an echo that I heard? Is everybody hearing me? Oh, well, here, hold on a second.
Oh, are we actually live?
Yeah, we're live. I'm going to turn up my input a little bit because I had turned it down. Let's see. How is that? That's better. That's better for me. Hello. There was oh look at that. Okay.
Did something happen on your end?
I did what you suggested and I refreshed, and so now I'm in that screen on my end
Okay.
too. So that's good news.
Which is good because, like I told you, none of the advice I was finding online looked applicable to our situation, and so I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah, I think it's a brand new error. Oh, people can now see that I was watching myself
Ah, you look so cute.
on mute so that I could get my views up. I've got 2 days. I am on average at 4,000, but if you go in and specifically look, it's like 3,995.
Oh, wait. So if I go in and watch that one of the live streams in the background?
Maybe? DinoNet says finally these are at dinner time again, but there's been no time changes recently that I recall. Has your dinner time simply changed, DinoNet? Inquiring minds wish to know. Anyway, there's a YouTube error, so that's what we were discussing at the beginning. Oh, DinoNet is back in the United States. How about that? I hope that's good news. I am having a wee bittle of an allergy issue, so I will need to pop up.
I hate to tell you that's not allowable.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that's not surprisable. Okay, there we go.
Okay, well, just a second. I'm sorry if... Let's see. Okay, my computer is on mute. I am... And then just in case there's some weird error there. I was putting on a video in the background. Okay. Mateus, like, do you mean like we could stream at 1.5 times as fast as we go? Or do you mean
Does
you
that
could just
count?
watch it?
Does that count though? So like, let's say that you watch a 1 hour stream at 1.5 times speed.
Oh, you want to know how much time that counts for on your watch
2
hour?
times speed, it's easier. Like if you watch the whole thing, does that count as an hour of watch time or does it count as a half hour of watch time?
And I also need to ask a very important question. The art of language invention includes all the work streams, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, because I pulled up a 2-hour-long work stream for the background.
Oh, nice.
Just in case, because I've watched other videos, I don't want them to be like, you can't count the same video again. I don't know if they do that, but I don't want them to ping me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'd like to get into the poll so that we can settle our biscuits, so to speak. Let's see, that's all well and good. Arnett Petricor is asking what's happening with the video hours. I got another one of those emails for my Daedalus account that if I don't get my watch hours up to 4,000 hours over the past year, then I will lose my partnership status and will have to reapply. Not like I use it for monetization, but I use it for other things that are helpful. And so I've been trying to goose it back up. And they give you 30 days to do it. So 30 days is going to be May 16th. And in terms of like the general rounded average, I've hit it, but not in the actual number of hours. So I'm very close. And also, like, I may have missed it at some point because it refreshes continually. So I may have actually hit 4,000 hours at one point. I don't know. But, just to make sure, I would like to see it when I go in there. It's a curious metric, I will say, because in terms of like the number of times the videos have been watched and shared, I would say that, and number of subscribers, I would say my own YouTube channel is far more successful than LangTime Studio. But in terms of like average watch hours over the past year, LangTime Studio is like almost at 8,000.
Thank you all.
Yeah, it's partly because of you faithful, but it's also, I think, in large part due to the nature of what we do on this channel. We stream for 2 hours a week. There are lots of people who watch all 2 hours.
Or have it on, whether or not it's
Yeah.
watched.
Honestly, if somebody puts on a stream of ours, whether it's live or replayed, and sits down to do the dishes or something,
You sit down to do the dishes?
you bring over the dishes chair to sit down to do the dishes.
Interesting.
I would be totally happy with that. Like that would make me feel good. And it's like, you might be thinking, oh, well, they're not really paying attention, but I like the idea of what we do just being soothing and something that you can throw on in the background and maybe dip into every now and then. I like that.
I aim to be a Bob Ross of the Conlang community.
LangTime is for faithfuls and TJP is for traitors. I like that. Anyway.
Funny you should say settle your biscuits. Anime fantasy. I've never heard that before, which, it's really a Davidism. So
Yeah.
It's, one of those things. But funny you should say that, because as soon as this stream ends, I do need to settle my biscuits, because
Oh.
I have some cooking that I need to do.
Does it involve biscuits?
English muffins.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm so excited. I am so hype. I am over the moon. I know what's coming. I know what's coming. I know what's coming.
It's going to be a late dinner, but it's going to be an exciting dinner.
Yeah.
One that would have been more exciting if I had settled my biscuits before the stream, but today is today. So
we could always take a stream field trip, and you could settle the biscuits now while folks watch.
it's going to be noisy. I got to run,
The garbage disposal.
Yeah.
That's where you mix up the biscuit
the
dough.
stand mixer thing.
In the garbage disposal.
I gotta run that, and make a mess.
Yeah.
Throw some flour around. Where is the fun in pre-settled biscuits? Don't even know.
Okay. No.
And Karis says that he thinks it counts wall watch time, which I think to mean if you put a video on double speed and it was originally a 2-hour video, but you only watched it for an hour, according to the wall clock, you had an hour of watch time, and that's what YouTube records.
I mean, yeah, that certainly is the case if you only watch part of a video. So I guess it does make sense if you watch it at 2 times speed, then,
Well, anyway.
What do we sound like at 1.5 times speed?
I think we sound like adorable squirrels. And if you speed it up to 2 times speed, we sound like our little racing bats.
Wow.
And then if you slow us down to 0.75, we start sounding like our possums. And if you slow us down to 0.5, that's when you get into sloth territory, but we don't have any sloths yet.
So if we had just...
We sound awake at double speed. Oh, magpie. Burn and boom. That's amazing. My
goodness. Wow.
I'm trying to be calm and cool.
Does that mean at double speed then Jake sounds like me right now?
Oh goodness.
Anyway,
David.
so back to this point. If we had oodles of time and money, wouldn't it be fun to have an entire season, all of our seasons, kind of reanimated, and each of us has, like, there's a rabbit version of Jesse and a rabbit version of David, and it's the same audio, but just us as rabbits for season 1, opossums for season 2, and so on.
So get on that, fans. But no AI.
That's right.
You have to make it happen.
That's cheating.
Through real art.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle says 1.5. Speakers in general sound super enthusiastic. And our Night Petrichor says, we really just sound normal at double speed, just no pauses. Fair. There's still some pauses sometimes. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the poll. And there was, during the World Building Festival, Madeline James's World Building Festival, there was somebody who presented that had like a little moving
Hannah,
avatar. Yeah, Hannah. And it was pretty cute. I think it's important for people to see us age so that they're not surprised.
When they see us in person?
Yeah.
Is it important for them to see my tired eyes?
Mostly
do you see that's like at the edges, they just feel very tired.
Your eyes are very pretty, and mostly I think it's invisible. My eyes, even when they're awake, look tired, and everybody sees it. There's a lot of commentary about it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I like your eyes. Anyway. Oh, Jake says, since you met me, you aged backwards. Oh,
that's so nice. Ben Jakeman Button.
That took me a second. God.
It took me a second, too.
My brain is on the slow speed, the sloth setting today. David and I have had a full week already, and so...
Jake said, since you met Jesse, you aged backwards. No, that is true. I thought that you said...
No, I said what?
Oh my gosh.
What I said was
you
Jake
said me.
Said.
You said Jake said when you met me. I took the
yeah.
me to be Jake.
No, it was me.
It was you.
It was me.
Oh, there's a pronoun resolution problem right there for your syntax class. Okay.
Yeah, I actually was thinking it would be cool to get some Hannah art for our little characters too.
Han art.
Han art,
That
yes.
I think is...
Han art.
All right.
Since you met Jake, things have gone downhill, right? Oh. All right. We're going to get on this poll. David promised a poll.
Okay. This is...
I'm sorry. I got a little sidetracked. You at one point were working in a light background instead of your dark mode. And it feels like I can't be watching a David video. Like, this is bizarre.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm just watching, like...
Remember doing the...
we had to change your slide presentations?
I remember the Chakopsa... the Chakopsa one that we just narrated.
Oh.
That one was... Well, I don't think that the program even supported dark mode at that time.
I guess I didn't super pay attention. That one I felt like I may be a little bit lost because I didn't, do that.
I will say one thing about this. This is just, I swear, then we'll get to the poll. About our presentations, light on dark doesn't work in a full lit room. And so, in good faith, we design these presentations light on dark. And then it's like if we're in a room where there's just like spotlights on everything, including the screen, the whole thing is like,
Can you do that again? Oh, that was good. That was good. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That made me very happy.
Presentations. The only way that I could interpret that is presentation married with B-res, which is short for battle res, which is terminology from World of Warcraft. I'm trying to imagine what a presentation would be.
Yeah, projectors are different. And then it's also the lights that they put right up at the projector screen.
Yeah, that's the big issue.
If they
It's the
can't turn
room.
them off, then it's really problematic. But it's also problematic if you have anything but a white screen with black text and very big blocky letters. If you have anything else, those lights at the front of the room kill it, even if it's, you know, any color or a smaller black font. Like it makes it hard anyway.
Yeah. And I swear they're very reluctant to turn the lights off. And I feel like maybe what we should do is we should have like a prepared song and dance number, like, 5 minutes at the beginning. Say like, this is us, you can see us, we're doing stuff. Now let's turn on the lights so that we can watch the presentation and it will be comfortable for all. It's also easier when it's a dark room for, if somebody needs to get up and go out, whether it's to use the bathroom or whether they're just disgusted by us, it's a lot easier. And,
it's easier to take a nap.
Yeah, easier to take a nap. Okay.
David.
Yeah.
Poll.
All right. So, I'm going to turn, oh, goodness. So apologize.
What are you apologizing for?
It wasn't in frame. No, it's in frame. Okay. This is going to be a good thing to kind of go back over so that everybody knows what's going on and what's at stake. So we have, first of all, this started off as a morphophonological issue. We have verbs that can serve as traditional adjectives, right? So you can use like meme is both an adjective furry, but it could also be a verb that means to be furry. And so you could say, okay, it's the habitual, and the habitual is ki do. And so I think it's going to come out as do. I think you could say domim kira, and that is the flying squirrel is furry. But they can also serve as attributive adjectives, as we see here. So we have ira. That was much better than what I was doing before. I was doing some sort of adjective. Ira, mima. That's the flying squirrel is furry. Or no, I'm sorry. That's the furry flying squirrel. Ira is flying squirrel. Mima is furry. And it agrees, right? It takes this little suffix so that it agrees with the night class. So, ira, mima, the furry flying squirrel. Can also agree with the day class. So we have ichie. That's ground squirrel. And so, ichie, mimie, is the furry ground squirrel. So, that's kind of like the state of affairs. And that was settled business until we realized that there were certain issues with these suffixes and certain consonant endings. Specifically stops. Stops lenite intervocalically. Voiced stops go to approximants. Voiceless stops go to voiced. And when we added these things, they naturally lenited. And we thought, wait a minute, is that correct or is that incorrect? And especially thinking ahead to the orthography, if they didn't lenite, that was going to be surprising orthographically. And so that's what made this a question. To illustrate without the stop lenition, just a very simple illustration. This is what would happen if those suffixes were attached at the earliest stage. Ignore this one because this is the one where it's different. You can see the vowel lengthen. So, ira, mima, right? As opposed to mima. Now, we didn't intend this. When we created the adjectival suffixes, we intended them to be added late and to not affect the root itself, to just be a purely, just like Spanish, right? You say la rana rápida, right? The fast frog, right? It's got an a in the end. It matches the gender of rana, which is feminine. And el burro rápido, the fast little burro or donkey, right? And so nothing about the rapid changes. It's just our O on the end. That's what we intended when we created these adjectival suffixes. We didn't want something where it's like, oh, the vowel lengthens, because this is what would happen if it were just a protoform MIMA. The vowel would lengthen like that. We didn't intend that. We just wanted to add the suffixes on the end. But importantly, if that is all we did, we just added the suffixes on the end and nothing about the root changed, it would be the only place where voiceless and voice stops did not lenite intervocalically. Okay? So this is just so you understand what was at stake here. The question was, do we make it so that there's a little bit of root modification so that these things lenite, which is something we didn't intend, or do we make it so that there's no root modification and these stops end up in positions that we didn't intend? Either decision is going to make things more and less like we intended. So that's what made this a really good poll. Okay. Now to go through the stakes for what this means, especially when it comes to orthography. All right. Late attachment is assuming nothing ever changes. So just using the top example, we have reb. Reb is slow. Adding just, I just did the A. It doesn't matter which suffix, so I just did the night class. Making it night class would turn it from reb into reba. All right. If it was, I wanted to show you what it would look like if it was just that sequence from the proto stage. Notice it would be riewa, or I'm sorry, riewa, all low, and then all high. This is what would happen if we just left all the roots intact. Importantly, you'd never get a B in that position anywhere else in the language. It would only be adjectives and the imperfect for verbs. Because remember that participles are adjectives, and to form the imperfect, you have to use the participle. All right, so it's not like this is something that would be restricted only to adjectives. You would see it a lot, which means that it could be supported, right? That is, it wouldn't be like, oh, this is this one little corner of grammar that we have to remember as bats. No, they'd be using it a whole lot. They'd be using it a whole lot. So it would be perfectly acceptable for them to not lenite, all right? Now, orthographically, this is what the upshot of that would be. Assuming like we have, this is just throwing out two forms. If you had a protoform that was like K-I-T-A, all one word, that comes out as kieda. If it was a late attachment thing, because we do have a verb K-I-T, means to stand. Or, I think it's stand, right? No, land. It means to land. With late attachment, it would be kita. If you were to spell both the same, that would be understandably confusing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to predict it. And it's too widespread, I think, to be able to just run with that. So we would need to have some way to reflect the spelling. And the idea is, let's see, letter would be a participle. Or the one option is to spell out the long vowels and spell out the consonants. So T would be T, but D would be something like T with a stroke. It wouldn't be D because remember the D phoneme here is a pre-nasalized D. So this is actually a new sound for the bats. So it wouldn't make sense for them to just spell it with the pre-nasalized D. So this one, you just spell everything out. Different vowels, different consonants, very clear. Another option would be to mark adjectives, participles separately. And there is precedence for this. Do I talk about this later? I do a little bit. But essentially, it's like the what am I saying? The endings, the agreement endings would be spelled differently. Then it would be super clear. You have KITA and KITA with some sort of marking, and you would know that one was a word from time immemorial and the other was a special adjective marker. So we'd have two of those, the A one and then the IE one, essentially. All right, that was option A. Ready for option B? Option B was medial attachment. And so what this would mean is that we added after, I believe, Rule 13.
That sounds
It's like
correct.
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
We add it at a very specific spot so that you don't get any other changes in the root. There's no like weird vowel lengthening or tone change, but you do get the stop lenition.
After 14, I believe, because
After 14.
those are the voiced and voiceless stop lenitions.
So it's got to be right before that. Because we
sorry.
because we want the lenition to
We
happen.
want the lenition. So it would be somewhere right before, in the 12-ish range.
Yeah, so it's like as late as possible, but before that, as long as it doesn't produce any other surprises, which we'll see during the stream. Anyway, so the difference is we have reb and rewa. Same vowel length and everything, but the B becomes a W as it always does in between vowels. And incidentally, the other one's D becomes L, G becomes Y, T becomes D, and K becomes G. All right. Orthographically then, we can do one of two things. One is we have more vowels. We just spell all the vowels. Fewer consonants, no unique, interesting way to spell like a T that sounds like a D. You just know how it's pronounced based on the vowels that surround it. This might help with tone as well. I don't know. That's going to be an open question once we get to orthography. We might have to do something with the codas. I'm not sure because of the disappearing glottal stops. The other idea is basically it's similar to the above. We have a suffix form for these adjectives. And it's kind of like there's orthographic precedents for this. For me, the most famous one is ta marbuta in Arabic, which is a little consonant that at the end of a word looks exactly like regular H. So Arabic has a pharyngeal H and a regular H. And at the end of a word, a regular H looks like a tiny little flag. Doo-doo. And ta marbuta looks like the tiny little flag with two dots above it. But it's not pronounced like an H. It's just pronounced like a short There's other ways to have a short at the end of a word in Arabic, but this one specifically denotes the feminine gender, both in nouns and in adjectives. When something is added afterwards, it turns into a T, which is why it's called a ta marbuta, and it turns into a regular T. So what's an adjective? Saghira would be small in the feminine. And then in the, indefinite accusative, it'd be saghiratin with a T. It shows up like that. As opposed to the masculine, which would be saghira and saghirin. So the saghiratin, the ta marbuta is spelled like a regular T, and it's indistinguishable. But it's kind of like, since it's always at the end of a word and it's coming before morphology, you know that T is a signifier of the feminine gender, so it doesn't need to be specially marked. It's only where it's at the very end of the word that it needs to be specially marked. Because there are regular words that end in T, that are not feminine. And of course, the T would have been pronounced at an earlier stage. It was pronounced in Middle Egyptian. Anyway, so that was the poll. And that was hopefully just a big rundown of what's at stake and where we are.
I am very excited to find out where this went.
Both got votes. Clear winner, I would say that it's, a 2-1 margin, maybe 2 to 1.3.
Okay.
And the winner was B, medial attachment.
Okay.
So they liked the lenition. And so now we don't have to worry about marking any consonants as non-leniting for reasons,
One thing that we do need to figure out, because Intervocalic lenition also affects our affricates. And so that's rule number 12. 13 is voice stops, 14 is voiceless stops.
Well, let's jump in there.
And so I don't know that we have any forms yet that end in a DZ, TS, or KX, but we, of course, could. And so that's the other one that gets affected.
The only thing that I was glancing at it and I didn't think it was a big issue is because I don't think that there's any real difference. So, for example, if you have the kha one at the end of a word, it shows up as kha. If you have it intervocalically, it shows up as kha.
Because it doubles, it changes to a geminate, but then that geminate gets reduced anyway.
Yeah. And I believe that the same is true of the TS. Oh my gosh, I'm writing Bats and Batsy. Okay, these have got to be words. Yeah, they both come out as S. And then the DZ one, yeah, both come out as Z.
Okay,
So,
so they don't, with respect to where we're going to put this into our sound changes, it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
Whether it's 12 or 13. The 11, rule number 11 is the tonogenesis.
Okay, I'm going to pull this up. Well, then it should be after 11 because we didn't want it to affect tone.
Right. And so, I don't know that we're going to be spelling anything differently with the DZ intervocalic.
I'm trying to... Oh, of course, I went away from... Lexergy, but I'm not seeing any difference. Let me try A because I know A gets funky with... Huh. The only difference I'm seeing is with the tone on what would be the suffix, which doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter because it's set, or doesn't matter?
Yeah, because the tone of that the tone of the gender suffixes is set. Okay, I lied. All right, hold on. I'm bringing back Lexergy. If the suffix is ah and the main vowel is weak, you do see a difference between vowel quality. And I think it's... I honestly can't explain that.
Sorry, which one are you looking at?
Let me get rid of everything that's not relevant. Give me a sec. I'll drop that in between. So we're fine with the z, the prenasalized z.
Mm-hmm.
This one you can see there's a difference in the quality of the vowel and the root. And this is whether it's its own thing or attached as a suffix. And I don't super know why, so we're going to trace those changes. Vowel centralization.
You did that before a velar? Is that correct?
I don't understand why that happened. It clearly has to do with stress.
It is because it's an oral vowel when it's not stressed. Nasal vowels have a different path. And the DZ is nasalized, prenasalized, causing the I to be nasalized, causing it to not be affected by the same vowel centralization.
Okay. But so I guess all of this it's just a question about whether this is going to be new rule 11 or new rule 13, right? And ideally what we want is for our new rule to not affect the quality of the vowel.
Can you trace the changes for the other two forms as well? 'Cause
I
now
am
that
sorry, I know that they're not on screen, but okay.
Now that I'm reading this, the vowel centralization, there's another rule for nasal vowels.
Yeah, so beta isn't the
So-
worry. So we're looking at bikha versus bich and then suffix a. And so it's the stress assignment where these things differ, whether it gets final stress or root stress. Because with a suffix, of course, there's no stress, right? It's just on the root. Over here, the a pulls it away from the e. Okay, so that's the big difference in stress assignment there. Now we're glomming, but once we've glommed, we have different stress. And so it's the different stress that causes vowel centralization to happen to this one, but not this one. Oh, but wait, the suffix is the one that actually shows up the way we want, because we didn't want the vowel to change. But, hold on a sec, let me throw in one more form here. But the tone changes. That's it. Okay, so the vowel doesn't change, but the tone changes in the root. And I'm sorry, I can't pull this over far enough. Looking at these two forms right here. So this is some potential adjective, where if we added a suffix afterwards, we would want it to just be mbija. So for that reason, we don't care about the tone of this, but we do care about the tone of this. And so basically, this is making it so that there is a tone change. Now I'm wondering, would that happen no matter what? Let me put in something else, like M. Oh, there's a tone change even with M. So this isn't a Geminate issue. I'm not a Geminate. This isn't an affricate issue. This is a general issue. For that reason, I think we can ignore it.
Okay.
And so theoretically, it won't matter if this is new rule 11 or new rule 12, theoretically.
New rule 11, meaning it would happen before the tone?
No,
12 would put it just
I'm
after
sorry.
tone.
New rule 12 or new rule 13.
Oh, okay.
It's got to be after 11. It's got to be after 11. We determined that.
Okay.
I hate to do this, but would you mind if we put it in as new rule 12, tested it, then put it in as new rule 13, and tested that in Lexergy?
No, so whatever you do to yours doesn't affect the underlying, and once we figure out which one we like,
Okay.
then I can change the underlying to match what we like.
Okay.
So like you could just open up another Lexergy tab, go to examples again, and edit both of them and compare one tab to another, and then we figure out which one we like.
Okay. Now, also, I'm a little embarrassed. I don't even know what the rule is.
What rule are we making right now?
I don't know.
I thought it wasn't actually a rule. I thought I was just going to put a divider inside our sound changes to say, here's where this attaches.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Right. No, that is what we're doing. I don't know if we want to try to make it work in Lexergy so that if we did put a space between these suffixes, they would actually come out right, but that just seems like a pain in the butt. So there is no new rule. It's just yeah. So go for it.
We have glomination happening relatively early.
Glomination.
We could have a separate one happening later if you wanted the predictability factor, or if it's going to be regular enough that you say we don't need it to be another thing, then it doesn't have to be.
Like I'm maybe just for funsies, I would say try putting glomination after Rule 11. But if it screws everything up, just throw it back. We'll remember. We know what we're doing. While we're waiting, just as a test, everybody pull up a web browser and then go to specon.org, go to register, and then buy a ticket. I just want to see what would happen if you did that.
Okay, so we don't want to move the glomming because it's early and it helps us with our verb forms. It helps us with those like dune forms with, like we have other forms that we've already decided would join slightly later than the very early ones, but not super late.
Okay. All right. So then we just need a note in our sound changes where the gender suffixes attach, and then that's it. That's all.
If I could figure out how to use like hyphens or other things, but I've not yet figured out.
Somebody needs to put together a detailed Lexergy tutorial, like a multi-video series, like each video no more than 10 minutes. That just takes you from beginning to end.
Because one of the things that I did in one of the languages I'm working on right now, I do have something akin to a hyphen, but like I had to name it as like a phonetic symbol and just say like basically in all the rules I wrote, say ignore this until the stage where it then deletes and then it'll go together, because I needed a space to glom on separately from where these other affixes came together a little bit earlier, but not the beginning of the language changes. And like I feel like it works, but it also feels very like clunky and I kind of hate it, and like anyway.
I love George hedging on English stress is more complicated than Spanish, I think. Yes, it is. A lot more complicated. Sotin is saying that you can use a space in Lexergy and use $$ to remove it later.
Yes, that's what I do. But now let's say you have two of those and you need these to glom on at stage 1 and you need these other ones to glom on at stage 2.
Yeah.
You can't do both with $, and you can't put two spaces in and say reduce one space here and reduce another space there. It just reduces all spaces between two units on the same line, whether you have one space or two typed in.
So, I mean, personally, I think that your fake character solution is an elegant one, but can you also insert a space?
Inelegant is correct. What do you mean insert a space?
Just have a rule that inserts a space. Change, consonant to consonant space consonant.
That wouldn't help me. If that's what I wanted, I would just type consonant space consonant into the input window.
No, I mean like later, take after the glomination, reinsert spaces sometimes.
No, like that makes everything worse.
George is right. That would be really cool if there was an option to add inflections at particular stages. And, I hate to keep taunting everybody with the functionality of something you can never have. But the program that Julie Birch made for me way, way back had this ability. You could turn individual sound changes on and off, just like with a little tick box, and also say at this point do this, at this point do this. It was amazing. Also had a word generator function as a part of it.
Okay, so now I've got little lines in our sound changes in our document.
Okay.
And I don't know.
Oh wait. Oh, good. It is up. All right, good. Oh, lovely.
And then up above, I say where like many inflectional affixes. So like up, if you scroll to like rule
Many
change 2.
inflectional affixes showing here. Look at that.
And so, because we've already got notes in our grammaticalization where it's like these are early, so enter them as one unit. And then we have later inflections, which it matters because like we've got those others that happen. Some changes there. So anyway, we've got those, and then the latest are these adjective ones, which affect, like David had said, the imperfective because it's based on a sort of participial form.
Nice. Okay. All right. Let me just do a little. There we go. Okay, so then I think that we are good and that we're all settled and done and ready to move on.
Yay.
Okay. Do you need to celebrate a little first?
Oh, sure. So I was trying to catch up on chat. There's a lot that happened. But yeah, like effectively what is being suggested in chat is what I did. I don't like it though. Like I don't like having a special symbol that I have to remember to type. And like for whatever reason I can't get hyphens to work the way I want them to. Like I can't define them.
Hyphens must be a part of the regular functionality of Lexergy.
I think either that or like it just came out wonky. So anyway, currently in that language, what I type in, because it's something I would never otherwise type in, is a little cent sign. And so it's like, here's the root, cents, and then here's the suffix, and then there's a space, and then here's the rest of it that gloms on at a later stage in the language.
By the way, I just want
And
to...
it's, again, kind of awful, because then I have to tell every rule I write at the early stages, ignore the cent sign, or, like, it gets to be its own thing.
Karis is saying you can escape the character to define hyphen, which...
Ugh.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, I just want to mention Miles Wonky Bitch. Give it a thought. I don't know. Maybe it could be something. So, Miles, think about it.
I like my Lurge better.
My Lurge. Whatever you say, my Lurge. Hold on. My Lurge.
There we go. Yes.
My Lurge. Descend into decadence. Okay. All right, so let us commence with the celebration. Wait, give me that back.
Why?
One. Woo! Went on a little ride.
David, you're so silly.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers, workmate. All right. Oh, not the chiropractors. Copico. Be sure to escape Copico before using Copico in Lexergy, as Copico is a part of the inner workings of Lexergy. Oh. Good stuff. Okay. Okay. So that brings us back to here, where I was just trying to add more tables. It's good. It's very good. Okay. We haven't done the adjectives yet. Comparison doesn't involve any special affixation, right? We already did comparison. All right, and so now we need to expand active and passive or active participles. So I'm just gonna there we go. And D is going to become L. And now we need to throw in G. Oh, because it's a geminate. Interesting. Okay. Okay. G final, and then T final and K final. All right. Do we have any verbs that end with G, T, or K?
Just a minute, please, while I try to answer that.
While we wait.
What were G, T, or what?
G, T, or K?
Keep is to land.
Kite. K-I-T?
Yeah.
High tone?
I don't know what it looks like on its own. The protoform KIT is to land.
High tone. Okay, good. That takes care of that. G and K.
I don't think we have.
We need to come up with a couple more verbs. Do we have to roll?
Are you saying that because of George's roll is in rolled dice?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I misunderstood.
I was looking Shake, and there Jake is on my wavelength. Shake, rattle, and roll. But
Oh, sorry. I was thinking like you were thinking, you know, with George's language, where on Saturday mornings, if you're up and at 'em, join live. Otherwise, just watch them in reruns. The Tongues and Runes, where dice tables are used.
Advertisement. Bow, 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 bow.
You're good at
Love
making
it.
that noise.
Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely. I don't see any G's, or K, or not K.
Okay.
I gave you a K. No, I gave you a T. I don't see the other.
Okay. So when it comes to rolling, I was thinking like the regular roll, but also I think it would be useful to have a word for barrel rolling, like when bats are flying.
That needs to end in a G.
Is there another word for barrel rolling?
Spiral? That doesn't really capture it, though. Nice, George. In my head, though, you use them all the time. In my head. It's funny how memories work like that.
Wait a minute. In aviation, Wiktionary suggests it's completing a loop in the same time that the airplane completes a roll. So I think what I was thinking of as a barrel roll was just a roll. What they're saying is like it's like, like that, which does seem pretty wild. Well, let's.
Well, wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. Well, that does not help me. Apparently, bat rolling is a process some baseball players use to break in new bats, and it's very controversial. This is not at all what I'm trying to find, but
Like on the ground?
it's apparently in between two actual rollers, and you press and squeeze and push the bat back and forth. Depending, though, on what kind of bat you're using, especially if you're playing wooden bats, I can't imagine are affected. This is really, we're talking high school and younger, where like the metal or aluminum bats, you can end up compressing the inner core.
Oh.
And so it's illegal because you're changing the physics of the bat and how it works. However, some people argue that it can help break in the bat as long as you're not like putting too much pressure. Anyway, it's apparently a very hot topic right now. Not at all helpful for what I was trying to find, because when you look at the barrel roll, they're specifically talking about airplanes. So then my question in my head was, do bats do the same thing, or would they have a different maneuver? Because the plane, it does this because otherwise if you just start rolling, you're going to go down. So you have to lift it as you're rolling. Otherwise you're going down to the ground and you could crash. Right? Like,
Really?
because if you're flipping the plane like this,
Yeah.
you're losing altitude. So the reason you go up and flip is so that way when you are right side up again, you're roughly at the same altitude you started, because you lost altitude as you flipped. And so the whole point is like you're trying to effectively maintain the same forward trajectory. Do bats have to do the same thing, or do they flip-a-roo mid-flight?
Now, these are racing bats, so they're going to devote a lot of time to crafting new flying abilities, shall we say.
Okay, here is a fun. Oh God, I have to prove I'm a human. Find all the fire hydrants. Oh God, those are orange cones. Those aren't hydrants. They're gonna think I'm a fake human. Okay, I think I found them all. Okay, this is an article published by the National Library of Medicine and the NIH, in an NIH publication, titled "Falling with Style: Bats Perform Complex Aerial Rotations by Adjusting Wing Inertia." And so that is to say, yes, they do, but I don't think they necessarily do the same things planes do. I don't think they necessarily go up and over.
I like this.
Body rolls is what they call them in this article.
Okay. I like
They
that.
selectively retract one wing during the flapping cycle. Okay. Interesting.
Oh, Miles, you're here. We had some discussion about you. All good things are pleasant things. Very nice.
They also note that all of these movements that they're seeing with bats, they do not see in other flying animals. So like flies can't do this. And, you know, it's like this is because they have such solid control over their wings and, like arms, can do more with them than any other flying animal can.
Speaking of human flight, not hot topic, Miles. My lurge descend into decadence. It's funny though. Like this would be a point where Bibleridian could jump in and have a lot to say, and of course, Bibleridian is not to be found.
They have to do these interesting, intricate movements to orient themselves so that way they can do things like land upside down.
Oh.
Like,
yeah.
I never thought of that until this second. Like, of course they can. They hang on things, and why wouldn't they figure out how to land upside down? And this is, wow.
All right. So then 100% what we're doing is to body roll versus to roll. Because everybody needs to be able to push that boulder. Well, Bibleridian, bats are biology. You have to know about batodynamics. Which is absolutely a word I bet was uttered in the 1960s Batman show.
I wonder, can I download this paper? They have diagrams.
Jesse, would you download a car?
I mean, why not? Oh, they have pictures showing this bat doing these cute little maneuvers to land on the ceiling. Ooh, oh, and fancy physics equations. So that we can better understand the scaled drag coefficient.
At the very least, Bibleridian should read this.
Okay, yeah, I have to download this if for no other reason than they have implemented tables. Okay, I think this is my last one.
What's the title of the paper, Jess?
Just one second. I'm taking a screenshot of this table because I think everybody needs to see it, and I will put it in Discord. Falling with style, : bats perform complex aerial rotations by adjusting wing inertia. And here's my little download button. Yes, downloaded.
Nice.
I've got my baddie article. Okay, and now with that, I will allow David to get back to, I don't know, language creation.
Okay, well, what we need is...
Whatever we're supposed to be doing here.
We need a couple of roots. One for to body roll, and the other one for to roll a boulder, to Sisyphus a boulder. The body roll is going to end in G, prenasalized G. The regular roll is going to end in a K.
And as you're thinking about that, I am coming over here to that. And, I mean, everyone needs to appreciate. Now in the Indact channel is this incredible chart that they've created to measure the pitch angle versus wing beats. But they've done little drawings, and like, I never thought that a bat, if you did a drawing like this, looks like a toad with wings, and I love it. Like,
Sure does.
I am absolutely enthralled by this little thing.
Right.
It's adorable. I'll go ahead and, for anyone interested, pop the PDF of the whole article right below this. You can read about falling with style to your heart's content. With that, I will now be prepared to move forward with helping David create words. That makes me so happy.
All right. Okay, so roots. Tsung is a valid root. Let's see what it lexergates out to.
I like it. Great job, Miles. And Cinnamon, if you're watching live, it looks like they're doing epic dance moves, because I think they are. I was sorry, from over yonder. Oh.
Jess, what do you think of sog?
I like it.
All right. And that's soye and soya. By the way, what do we feel about soye?
Am I supposed to feel anything other than feel that this is an epic soye?
Perfect. Awesome. All right.
Bye, George.
There are a couple of things that could come out as sog though, so I'm just, for the time being, gonna write that there till we get it down. Okay, now something that ends in a K for to roll a boulder.
Muck.
And we haven't used that yet.
Oh, I don't know. I was
It's pretty plain.
I don't see it. MAK does not show up.
Okay.
We have manda. Meme.
Oh, brother.
Ooh.
That means in the night class it's going to be MAGA.
Ooh, no. Going back. Forget I said anything. Could be rak. Rak that boulder.
Have we used that yet?
I'm looking. We have rach, raki. That means to crush or grind. That might be a little bit close. We could have ruk.
Let's see what rook comes out as. Just rook. Okay, let's do that.
Okay. Thank you for saving It's really unfortunate because it's otherwise a great little string of sounds.
Yeah.
That could be just fine, and yet, ugh. Okay.
All right. Good. Okay. So, it's kind of hard because what we need to do for like bookkeeping purposes is we need to fill out some more vowel charts until we're 100% sure exactly how many forms we would need, how many principal parts we would need to be able to add adjectives to the dictionary. And
Adjectives or verbs or both? Because right now we're working on...
adjectives we can add to the dictionary as verbs.
Okay.
Let's try adding this to body roll.
Okay, so Lexergy is showing?
It is?
Yeah, I don't know if you want the document to be showing.
I don't. Or I don't want Lexergy. I want this. Oh, okay. 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 Oh, what did nobody remind me of? What did nobody remind me of, even though I put it in the channel?
What?
We have to talk about gerunds.
You put it in the channel?
I put it in the doc. I said, everybody remind me, we got to talk about gerunds. We must talk about gerunds.
Sorry,
Yes. We must talk about gerunds.
You put it in doc?
I sure did.
Because you were talking about learning about Baltimore, old cities, understatements of the century. May 9th, we still don't have anything about gerunds? Like, when did you write this? Was this so long ago? Oh my God,
Dropping
it was May
a
8th.
note in here that next episode we have to talk about gerunds.
You expected us to remember that from a week ago.
And this is how you remind me of what I really am, or whatever.
Thank you, Karis.
I can't even tell if that one is Creed or Imagine Dragons or whoever that is, that song.
What?
You know, this is how you remind me of what I really am.
You don't
What
know
is
the
that?
difference between Creed and Imagine Dragons?
They're basically the same.
They're like two different time frames.
I think at one point in time, Creed just went back to the morphine base underground, and they were remorphed and became Imagine Dragons. Nickelback, same thing. Nickelback, Creed, Imagine Dragons, same thing.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Gerunds.
What do we need to say about gerunds?
We have to make a decision and write something in the document about how we are forming gerunds. So, participles, right? They're just the regular adjective endings added to the root. Gerunds, on the other hand, were not the adjectival endings, but the actual nominal endings added to the end of the root. And I believe our hesitant decision last time was just to do it on a case-by-case basis so that we would individually decide the form of each gerund, both what class it would belong to, day or night,
Okay. Yeah,
and
I'm
what
remembering
suffix
this.
it would take. And like the two that we did so far, sleep and bite, happened to be the same gender and appeared to take the same ending.
Mm-hmm. I'm remembering this now.
Now, on the plus side of doing it individually, it's very unique. It means that the gerund would need to be learned for every single word.
Well, I mean every single verb.
Every single verb. They would have, like, a unique identity, kind of. We would need to create it each time. It would be an act of creation each time. It would definitely need to be listed in the lexicon, because there'd be no way to predict it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing we can do is base it on the phonology. So it's like, if it ends in this kind of a thing, it always takes this.
Well, I think some of them may more naturally belong to one or another.
Based on semantics?
Yeah.
Okay.
However, I absolutely think that there are a lot of verbs where it's just going to be like, yeah, why not use phonology? Because it doesn't make sense in one or another. Or it doesn't
Male.
have any strong proclivity semantically. The ones that we did sleep was a day class because, they're
Because
nocturnal.
they sleep during the day, right?
And so it made sense. Bite ended up being a day class, but other than just feeling like it would be day, I don't know.
The other option, by the way, is we create a gerund ending. So it's a regular ending that gets added to something that gets added to the root. But then we'd have to figure out what that something is.
So change what we have so far?
We might have to. It would only be for 2 words, but
Right,
it could
but change like the system that we
yes,
have said.
but it could also be the case that some of them, like, that's the new system and some of them use the old system. I don't know, but like, as we move on for body roll, it makes obvious sense that this would be the old flying class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's night, right?
Yeah, but like specifically, we would find the root that was fly.
Which is ra.
Ra?
I
Okay.
believe.
So it would be night class, but
I believe.
it would be the Ra one. So then we'd put Sugra, and then we'd just have a Ra in the end. So Sogra would be the gerund.
Oh, bite went to day class because it made me think of small, because
Yeah.
it was like a small class. And so because these are old enough, we had them, like David has said, kind of split between the 4 and where they belong.
I mean,
And like when we created this, it made perfect sense. I can imagine situations like verbs that just don't get used as much, especially not as much in gerund form, and verbs that are newer in the sense that, let's say, you create a compound verb, which can obviously happen. You borrow a verb from another language. I think there would be either a phonological trigger that would say, okay, if it ends in this, it takes the ah ending. If it has this as its last syllable, it takes the ea ending, and like just kind of regularize it based on sound. I could definitely see that happening. We may just want to do that for all, unless we want to have like certain ones where it's like, yeah, it ends in this, but it's this class because it's an irregular.
It's really hard. Just want to see a poll. What should we should we do with gerunds? One option, all irregular. We decided every single time. Older irregulars plus new gerund suffix.
Yeah.
Plus gerund suffix. And then all regular gerund suffix. This is just a see what people are feeling poll. I might get up and just take a little jaunt.
He's nervous about the voting. He has to leave. Ooh, 9 votes, and we have a very, very strong opinion. Does the strong opinion come from the misspelling of suffix?
What? What did I do?
Suffix.
Not really.
But it's winning.
Oh my goodness.
It makes it irregular.
Oh my gosh. Gerundive suffix.
I like it.
I mean, not a gerundive, of course. It's because gerundives are actual things.
A gerundial suffix. Wow. And yeah, Jake, I think you're the only one who voted for that option. Oh, there we go. Someone else just did. Yeah, so you're not alone.
Well,
But there does seem to be a very, very strong
that is the way the wing flaps.
preference.
Preference.
A gerundific, yes. Oh, and I'm just now looking up Arnite Petrichor, the band that David was confused about was Creed. It just said I had an error. Did that comment go through? Do you see a comment by LangTime Studio?
No.
There we go. It just said error, and it like wouldn't post my comment. But Arnite Petrichor, that's the band that David had mentioned, and it's. I think they were only really around in the 90s. Were they around in the 2000s?
They started in the 2000s.
No.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they didn't start then, but like their first big hit was in the 2000s.
No, 99 was the second album.
The first one have any hits on it though?
Yeah, 97 is My Own Prison, and that's where you get the huge song. 97 is the album that you probably actually know of. He's like this on the cover.
I don't know. I only heard these songs on the radio on occasion. What was the big
My
song?
Own Prison was the
MOP, as I think fans call it.
Torn, What's This Life For? One. These were all really big. MTV, especially with Torn, it was a big. Or What's This Life For? I mean, was a big.
Stopped watching MTV in '95.
And then, of course, My Own Prison was on that one.
Don't know that song.
Anyway, yeah, that was 97, so I was right. Thank you. They really stopped being active in 2004. They disbanded. They got back together in 2009.
Okay.
But then parted ways again in 2012. Got back together in 2023.
Okay.
And they're apparently going to have a tour in 2026.
Did they do the song "Will You Take Me Higher"? Is that them, or is that also Nickelback?
Yes, I think that's on Human Clay though.
Because that was their first hit, right?
It's called Higher, and I think it was 99.
And when I say first hit, I mean that was their only hit, right?
No. I just said like 3 other really big songs.
That I hadn't heard of.
It's not my fault you don't know these things. But yeah, Higher was on Human Clay, which was in 99. And that's the one where the dude's coming out of the ground like this. That's that one.
Nah.
Arms Wide Open was on that one. Oh my God. And What If? Yeah.
And so I come to you with arms wide open. Sorry, I can't.
Anyway.
I don't know. Okay.
I agree, Patrick. I agree.
Patrick looking to get banned.
Patrick, you won't get banned because you said something I agree with. So, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, David?
Oh, poor Jake. Jake has had it. They've had it with us. All right. So, let's get to it.
I think I just learned something. David.
Yeah.
Because I was in the browser, I opened up a new tab for Lexergy in the browser where I was watching the stream video.
Yeah.
When I had a new browser open, it apparently didn't keep playing the video. Like when I had a new tab open. And so it says I've only watched 48 minutes. But I've had it going this whole time, I thought. I shouldn't have used Lexergy on the same browser.
Yeah.
So yours may not still be going. Like it may have stopped it. I just, heads up.
Dang.
I mean, I can keep it going while I settle my biscuits, so to speak. And that will take a while because,
Because they're not settled.
they're not settled at all. In fact, they got to get risen before they settle. It's going to be a whole thing.
Okay. Now, prospective is early attachment. Is habitual also early attachment? Passive is early attachment.
Passive is. The early attachments are passive, prospective, and habitual.
Okay.
Those you enter as one phonological unit. Imperfective and perfective you enter separately with a space. And then, of course, the imperfective, the full form, actually wouldn't come together until the adjective ending gets added later.
Ooh, and this is a super good question. It's the habitual supposed to be added in such a way that it would produce clicks. It seems to for the passive, which suggests that it should for...
Yeah, because it's the prefix. The prefix portion... Sorry, the habitual is early. That's enter as one phonological unit. So absolutely, if it's in a situation to create a click, it creates a click.
Okay.
The imperfective... basically, the way we have it, the way we've been entering them, it would almost be like the first part comes together before they take the adjectival suffixes. It's almost like they would have felt like it was more verby until suddenly they were like, yeah, these are more like adjectives.
Okay. I'm about to gerundiate some forms here. Ooh, well, how mannerly. My. Look at that.
Now, if you want us looking at it, you're going to have to put Lexergy on screen.
No, I think I just wanted to reveal it as a surprise.
Ooh, I kind of saw something in the background when
Don't
you switched screens.
Look. Must be surprise. Look at that. Perspective, no change. And then
habitual wreaks havoc.
Habitual.
Habituates.
It sure does. Dognog. Yeah. Okay.
I'm glad I don't need to speak this language fluently.
It's just a dognog.
That's it.
Little dognog. Oh, I did it. Oh boy. Dognog.
You really want that nasal to just be like a nasal instead of a click.
It's a good nasalized click, dognog. The only kind I can do with any kind of regularity. There's a reason that the clicks that appear in the 2 languages I've used clicks in are always nasalized.
That's incredible.
Okay, and then Quito. All right, and then ka, also mannerly. Ka.
I do like that one.
And then the one that's like a half creed. That was Dishwalla, right? They're the ones that did the "Tell Me All Your Thoughts on God" song.
Yes.
The
'Cause
one-
I'd really like to meet her.
Yeah, the one where when I heard it, whatever the listening version is of glancing.
Mm-hmm.
When I
you-
glanced it,
Askance. at it.
glistened to it, it was I thought it was Pearl Jam. And then it was like when it got to the chorus, I'm like, this isn't Pearl Jam.
And they also did the Counting Blue Cars
Or
song.
Bush. I also thought it might
Oh, wait,
be
Counting Blue
Bush.
Cars is the I'd really like to meet her, right?
Oh, is that what the name of the song is? I guess I never knew.
I think. Yes, Tell Me All Your Thoughts on God is Counting Blue Cars is the actual title.
Wow.
I had to put those together in my head. Great 1990s.
Okay. Good.
I don't think I ever realized. Huh.
Now this one. Yeah. And here's where we see the showing up.
So this the song you're speaking of is
Yes.
on an album called Pet Your Friends
Hey!
and features a lady walking a deer on the cover, like with a little leash, like the deer's running.
Ooh,
And
hang on. Hang on. This-
She's in a 1960 style bikini skirt concoction. Like she looks like she belongs.
Who cares about her? What's the
By
deer
beach.
wearing? Hold on.
The deer is just being a young deer and doesn't need anything.
Oh, this looks like an actual vintage photograph rather than a posed
I
photograph.
believe so. Like it
This
looks
is a-
like 1960s is what I'm gonna guess based on the
Yeah.
woman.
This is a very 90s album cover with the
wonder if
vintage
they mentioned-
photograph. But that deer looks like it's ready to race on ahead.
Yeah, like she's having to run to keep up with the deer.
Dishwalla's roots trace back to the early 1990s via the synth pop band Life Talking.
Okay, the image on the cover of this album was taken from the August 23rd, 1948 Life magazine cover.
Oh,
48, not 60s. That was in the 40s.
48. How about that? Fresh off the nuclear bombing of the Bikini Atoll.
Wow. The deer is Bucky,
Oh, Bucky the deer.
and the girl is Joan Peterson. Spelled,
Spelled
with
like-
a D,
Oh,
and Joan, Jone.
for that reason, I'm out. And like, do they have any explanation for what's going on in that cover photo?
Yeah, so that's her friend's pet deer named Bucky.
Oh,
And she happened to befriend this deer while they were swimming one day, and the picture was taken. It became popular when she won Miss California. And then the photo became a big deal and made the Life magazine cover.
wow.
Boom and boom.
Okay, I think I've got that right, but I want to double check up here because I think if it ends in a G, it just becomes a geminate K and then drops out for the passive participle. Yeah, it just drops out. Okay. Good.
I just looked up and saw Cinnamon's comment, programming sucks. Until the code works, then programming is great. I totally understand that sentiment. It's like when it works, it's like, yes, and then, yeah.
So I think I need to make a note ski here, like a little note ski. Okay. And then, okay, yeah. Because only the K and the G drop out because they form a true geminate, and then we kill the geminates. Okay.
Seems very unlike us.
We have now a third verb done.
Yay!
Maybe by just examining these three tables, we'll figure out how much of this chicanery is necessary.
Well, none of it's necessary. We could just make everything regular and say we're done. That got very little out of David.
This is weird, but like the imperfective passive is kind of necessary. So is the imperfective active. Those are both necessary. The regular passive is necessary. The gerund has got to be necessary.
Obviously. For the imperfective, though, like both, like all four forms, or just the like night, both passive and active?
Just one of them. Yeah, just one of them. Oh gosh, this is a nightmare. Because if you look, there's the possibility of root changes with both the prospective and the habitual, so both are necessary. The perfective isn't necessary. But what this boils down to is that we are probably going to need to list... Wait. Is the root change in the prospective the same as the root change in the passive? Oh, also, wait a minute.
When you say passive, which passive? We have a lot of passive.
Passive imperative.
Imperative. Gotcha.
I think that...
It looks the same.
Yeah, I think that the prospective, active, and the passive imperative are going to be the same. So if you know what the change is in that one, that gives you the root that you need for the perspective. So that's good. So that means we don't need to list the passive. We could just list imperative, gerund, prospective, habitual. And then the imperfective in one gender, active and passive. That's a lot. Oh my God. I mean, we could also list none of them and just give everything a class. It's like, class 1, go to this table. Class 2, go to this table. Whew. Because I'm just thinking, like, what this is going to mean is that I'm just...
Every entry is going to be so long that it's going to be unhelpful.
And also, it's, as a translator, I'm going to go look at a verb and say, well, maybe I just won't translate any sentences that have verbs in them.
Fair. I think if we're going to make this many tables, though, I like the idea then that it's like, make them useful. So here's the inflectional pattern for this, and that's what you follow. this seems to me to be a language that I would never be able to translate into without Lexergy going.
Hmm.
And so knowing that, I'm also on the side of like, as long as we've got good notes about these prefixes are early, these are late, this is what happens here. It's like me driving in this area and, you know, without the GPS, I go nowhere. Without Lexergy, I don't translate into this language.
Hmm. By the way, we don't list the participles in these tables because you can figure out what they're supposed to be, but should we? Just for the sake of completion. We do it right below the imperfective, and the only difference would be it wouldn't have the prefix.
And that would truly be the only difference, right? Like the prefix doesn't change the root in any way.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, for completion's sake, I guess, but
Yeah. Out of curiosity, is this when I do that? No, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. Okay. Rows below. Participles.
man.
Oh, that's a thing, isn't it? Hold on a sec. Where's the imperfective up here? Foibs.
What about the verbs?
I want to make sure that the...
Oh, Magpie heard our dove in the background.
Oh, I love doves. Okay. Huh. Well, that's a funny thing. You know, basically the imperfective, the prefix is added really, really late.
Mm-hmm.
We had that one going to a W. The B going to a W.
We should have thought about that.
We should have.
Yeah.
I think...
You all voted correctly.
Yeah, you did. Oh, funny. Anyway, okay. Milers. The problem is like, so for example, take the G, D, and B class, so like a word that ends in G, D, or B. They all have that lenition that happens in the imperfective and the participles. The G will also disappear before K in the imperfective passive, but that's more or less predictable. But the problem is then you also have separate classes for what a word begins with, since we also have prefixes.
Yeah. And the prefixes are going to affect things like tone and whatnot.
Yeah, those suffixes only come into play for imperfectives and participles, and imperfectives only because of participles.
Well, I think the imperfectives and the participles are more predictable. And so I think by having written them out and showing, like, here are some examples in the charts, like, I think we could figure those out.
So then we wouldn't have to list those.
I think obviously the gerund for obvious reasons, and then showing with the prefixes are the bigger issue in terms of the verbs and using them, I think.
So then we just have four forms. The imperative, the basic, the gerund, completely unpredictable, perspective, and the habitual.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
No, not bad at all. Because the perspective will tell us what form the passive will take once the prefix is added.
Yeah.
And the perfective is absolutely built on the habitual. So once we know
Yep.
that, we just add the key in front of it. And so, yeah, 4 forms.
Nice. And yeah, and those participle forms, right? That's like a language-wide thing.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to know that like a final B, G, and D go to W, Y, and L.
And
All
again,
right.
that's described in
Yeah.
more detail in the participle section.
Oh, all right. I think that calls for a little celebration, adding our first verb. Okay. Let's do barrel roll, right? Since we've been working with that. I'm going to borrow this. We already have a lot of S's, so that's too bad. But indeed, Kopiko has happened. So this was a Kopiko worthy moment, but we've had our treat. And now there will be no more treats. Okay, so this is going to be... Do we have to distinguish between any other types of verbs like transitive or intransitive, or are we fine with that? I can't remember.
So we had this idea that I'm assuming we're going to follow up on, where the way that you mark arguments in the clause structure can change the meaning of some verbs, where like push and pull are actually the same verb, but what gets marked as the moving argument is then it'll tell you whether it's pushing or pulling. So in the sense that we need to mark them as transitive or intransitive, no. In the sense that we need to indicate argument structure if it's unpredictable or if it changes meaning, yes.
Hopefully for this one, there's only one actor in doing a body roll.
Yeah.
It is to, what do we call this, by the way?
I would put barrel roll as an example, as a side note, just because it's like, it is, and also to roll.
Achieved
Because
by...
if we're searching for like, oh, we want to say the bat rolled midair, we'll probably type into roll. And so like we need that as a searchable element.
Hold on. What do we call this? Per falling with style. There we go. All right, so sog. And that is going to be tung. We don't need that information. Put that there. Okay, and now do I just put this here and then write chair like that?
Yeah.
Does that look good? Is that what we did? Can you pull up on your screen, Lokish? I'm gonna take a little jaunt. I'll be right back.
Huh. I don't know. Oh, hi. I don't know why this has got a little danger mark. I don't know if that means something's not updating.
That sure is taking a while to open.
Yeah. That happens. I mean, I haven't opened it in a while, so it's got to re-download. And like I said, that's happening, so I don't know if my computer is being weird. All right, let's go down here. Yeah, we didn't add spaces before and after.
Okay.
So just
and
GER period.
And we did abbreviate. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the gerund.
Oh, I was up
Did
at
we-
the table for a reason. I was up there to pull
Do we-
forms for you.
Do we put a comma after the green box?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we need so that's imperative, gerund,
Perspective.
prospective. Is nga
Nga, high tone. This one doesn't change in the root. So
Good.
it's just nga. And then habitual is going to change the root.
okay?
And so it's D-O-C-O-G, all low tone. Is that form.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And you need the comma because that tells you the GER label goes with the RA suffix.
Yeah. I just didn't know where the comma was placed. Okay. Well, that's not so bad.
No, like this is perfectly in acceptable ranges. Sorry, I was just double checking. We did it the other way around.
What do you mean?
Gerund, ra, comma. Perspective, nga, comma. It needs to go like that.
Oh, the gerund has to go in front?
Yeah, so the green labels go
That
in
makes
front, then
sense.
the suffix, and the comma follows the ra. Yeah. There we
Alright.
go. Now it matches Lo Hakish in terms of how we did that. It also scans a little bit better because we don't have that period comma situation.
Yeah. All right. Delightful.
Yay. Hey, what are we gonna like poll about this week?
Oh, I don't know. Let me.
And as we work on thinking about polls for anyone who, well, I think lives anywhere, isn't everyone doing midterm election stuff right now? Isn't
In the
that-
United States, yeah.
So everyone should remember that voting is happening soon if it hasn't already started via mail ballot for you in your state. So if you live in the United States, in general area, if you're a voter, please remember that. Lots of big votes this midterm election.
Oh, by the way, I couldn't remember. When we do words that are based on patron names, we mark that in the document. Are we marking it if somebody came up with the root or just okay?
Oh, it's only, we need to mark it if it was their name because that's, like
Yeah.
an actual thing.
All right. So, one thing I might be able to do. Oh my goodness.
Is have a style pull for orthography. I will just need Jesse to draw, one or two baddish things that I can use as the basis for a glyph. And it would just be for visual style, not for even what kind of writing system it is. Otherwise, where we're at,
David?
yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I'm about to tell you something.
okay.
So if that's where our poll is going, then fine. Bats to swing, to sway, because as they're hanging there. And that could be because you wanted bats and, batsy.
And so it'll come as, start with N. Because it's ng, right? Ngbas.
I thought you wanted bats. Bats.
Yeah.
So
But
that changes?
yeah, in the modern it'd be,
Oh my God, I forgot what language we're dealing with, David.
yeah.
I thought we were dealing with mbak over here, not ndak.
Okay, so I like that. That'll go here.
Thank you, Anime Fan. Yes, primaries, but primaries in many locations very important because they will determine what candidates show up in the, I guess, actual then general election in November. Yeah.
Yep.
And if you're in California, as Barry noted, we've got a heck of a list to choose from.
To swing.
Yes, to swing, to sway.
To sway. All right.
Yes.
Okay. What do we think is that? Flying?
Did you enter that on the English side? The other one?
Yes, I did.
What was the other one we did?
To roll, yeah, I entered it.
Okay, I'm
so
gonna do this one.
to swing, to sway, is this going to be flying, walking, big, or small?
Well, I would say it would be walking instead of flying because you're kind of grounded with
Okay.
the idea. Despite the fact that you're hanging, you're grounded. It would also give us the EA form, which then goes much closer to Batsy than
Okay.
Batsa.
Let's give this the old Lexergy look.
Did I do that? Must? Yeah, I did that right. And I know we've had a lot of the EA forms, but you know, well,
Something we didn't discuss with the with these is if we're going to allow for tone changes.
because they're late and because tone has already happened, I'm gonna say no.
The gerunds are?
Oh, sorry, gerunds.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry, I thought you meant no gerunds. If they get to choose between the four suffixes,
They have to be
Then
old.
they
They
have to
have to
be-
be old. They
yeah.
have to be old. Yeah, right, of course. Okay.
I was thinking. Sorry, my head was on participle forms, and I
Yeah.
was like, we just said.
So this is going to be bash hie. Bash hie. That's swaying.
I like it.
And we're going to put that there. And okay, prospective. Let's do this.
I don't know if we already have a. I actually have no idea what's going to happen to this one, so I'm excited to find out.
I don't either.
Is it nga low tone?
It's not about the tone. It's about how much of brother. It's because it's prenasalized. Do we have another example of doing a verb that starts with a prenasalized stop anywhere in any thing?
I mean, not that we've done up yet.
Because what we're looking at is kaangbas, ngaangbas, domungbas.
A second. We have to stand mbud as the habitual is dongbod. I don't have perspective, but I do have habitual.
Okay, let me see that habitual.
It's on page 18 in the gray chart.
Okay. Okay.
I don't see anything written up on any of the other verbs for the nga form.
The habitual prefix serves in a way the end shows up only before vowel initial or modal initial verb roots. Okay. You know, in what we've written there, it doesn't say anything about whether it should produce clicks or not, but we have them producing clicks. So, but what we don't have is Dumung Bod. We have that kind of getting shortened up. So
Yeah.
so this one will be Dongbas.
For
And
the habitual.
and so it's just going to look like that. The perspective is supposed to be older. And so we're going to have to make that decision again. Is it going to be Ngangbas or is it going to be Ngangbas? I mean,
I
no.
it wouldn't have that extra break
No.
in there.
No, you're right. You're right. No, that's
even
just
being
just
older.
too much. Okay. And so it will be low tone though. Oh. Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
What?
How?
I don't know what you're looking at.
I'm gonna throw this onto Lexergy real quick. I know that we're very close to the end,
We're over, yes.
but you remember how we said we didn't need to list the passive because it would be the same as a perspective. Look at that.
This isn't?
Look at that. The tone is different. We have ngangbas versus gangbas, and the difference is only a K versus an engma.
All right. This requires more attention than I can give it right now. I need to run. I can leave everything up and running if you're going to keep going here, but I, in this second, need to go. And so,
I encourage you. I think I see what happened, and I think I'm going to ignore it, okay?
okay, I like that plan.
All right, everybody. We will see you next time. Don't worry about that Kagenbas thing. It's just going to look like that. That's going to be our decision. The children love you. Thank you so much for entertaining them, and we will talk to you later.